Hi, and welcome back to the Sparky Ninja podcast. Now, I'm a bit tired today because I still haven't recovered from yesterday. I had a long day, and I had a bit of a problem when I actually got to the job. So I thought I'd include the problem in today's podcast, but kind of give it across as a day in the life of perspective. So yesterday I had to deliver an electrical training course. It was a wine regulations update. It was a subcontracting to another company. It was an update course, and it was to be delivered at Dinovig Power Station in North Wales, which is about 220 miles from my home. So I decided to get out early. I like early driving, so I've got a 3 a.m. wake up call. You know, crawl over the wife in the pitch black because our youngest son is still in the room in his cot beside the bed. So freezing cold in the morning, getting out of bed, crawling down, pitch black, stacking it down the stairs, falling on my ass, and then getting dressed in the dining room. You may have done this before yourself. But the key was to get out that door by 4 o'clock. So 4 a.m. I'm out on the road listening to some sharp music from the early 90s kind of lit playlist. And I switch over to some playlists because I do like listening to some podcasts in the morning on my travels. But good 3.5 hour drive. It's nice and early, no problem. Carry on, and I get to North Wales on the North Wales Expressway around about 7 o'clock. So I'm there. I pop into a Costa, my second coffee of the morning, and I find the site. I get in, and 8:30 I arrive. So I'm already 4 hours into my day. So I'm introduced to these guys. There's 10 of them, and the idea is that they're going to do an update regulations course, and the requirements, or the expected requirements for update courses, is that every candidate has done the 17th edition since Amendment 3. So basically, they've done a regs course since 2015. That's kind of the recognised level, because there was no update course. EAL and City and Guilds both agreed that there would be no update version for the 18th edition. So anyone who does the course has to do a full exam. These guys were not aware of this, so they've come onto the one-day course assuming that I'll talk about the new stuff, and their assessment will be on just the new stuff. So the first thing I say to them is, right guys, you know that we're going to talk about just the new stuff today, but you've got an exam this afternoon, and the exam covers the whole book. It was at that time I had 10 guys staring at me with not a clue about how we're going to do that because they were uninformed. And this is the problem. I obviously subcontract, so I don't talk to the client. So I've now got to say to my client, did they pass this information across? And now I've got to debate whether or not the person at the client's end, the power station, translated this information or asked this information to the electricians themselves. There's clearly been a communication issue. But, I mean, fundamentally, I've just driven 4 hours, and I've got a choice. I can do one of three things. I can either think, sod it, I'll clear off and go home, which is, it's not going to help anybody. Option 2 is I could just deliver the content I've been told here and paid here to come and deliver. I can deliver just the 18th edition information, and then I can let the guys struggle and try. Or option 3 is I could try to cram in the 18th edition and then give some structural training on the regulations and try to give some key triggers such as revision of the formula, such as understanding how Appendix 4 works and things like that. So we went for the latter. We had a go, and the guys were just overwhelmed with the information. We covered the new content. The new information was a lot of information, but we had a go. We went to lunch, and normally we're supposed to start the exam at 1-ish so we can close it by 3-ish so I can get off on the road for 4. That's kind of everyone's happy day. But what we did is we pushed it on, and we started the exam about 2 o'clock or 2:15, which was still, fundamentally I would like to have more time. I would like to say to the guys, let's do some more training, more development. But this isn't my arrangement. This is another company's arrangement, and it's a case of they're enrolled, they've got to do this exam, so let's see how they do it. So we sit the exam, and it gets to 4:15, and the guys close up. They all had a very good go. They all managed to achieve all of the questions, and they've been successful. So it's not too bad. But fundamentally, the feedback is they'd all like to come on to a full course. They'd like more time. And this is something that needs to be remembered. People who go onto a course to update sometimes they're going to be missing out on a lot of the content, and that's what these guys wanted. So on the feedback forms, they're saying they want more time to actually learn the regulations, to actually take in the regulations, to actually then be able to use said regulations. But mission achieved. Everyone's been successful. I'm returning there to do another group next week, but now I've got to go home. So it's 4:30 now. Beautiful location. I took a couple of little videos for my Instagram and little photos. I hadn't been back to North Wales since I was at school. I remember going in I think it was primary school. I went to a little place called Rossi Gwaili near Bala, which is towards more of the central land. But this was right near Snowdonia. Yeah, I don't get out enough. That's clearly the problem there. The only problem I have now is I've got to get from North Wales to home, and there's something in the middle of that journey called Manchester with a big ring road around it, which is just an absolute static shit pile of traffic. I tried the sat nav, I tried to go in all sorts of different ways, but it took me 4.5 hours to get home. So having left home at 3:30, I didn't get home until 8:45. So it was a long day. It was a struggle. But, it was achievable. It was achieved. It's just frustrating that the guys, it's just frustrating to put all that effort in, knowing that the guys that you go to didn't achieve effective training because they needed more. I've recommended the channel to them. I've recommended that, they can pop in and see me when I return next week. But do make sure if you are going to go on any courses that whoever's facilitating the training knows the expectation. If they're going to put you on a one-day course, make sure that you're aware that you're going to be assessed on the whole of the regulations book, and make sure your facilitator knows that as well. Alright? Anyway, hope you have a good day. I will wrap this podcast up now as a little day in the life, and I will see you next time.